Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Key, everybody, welcome back to Hooper's Delight Season 2. This has been requested by many of you out there. Me and Coach Key were able to make it happen. We were able to find our guy, Strive 365 Clips. Check him out on Instagram. He's going to do the media for us. And, man, we excited about this. We excited to be back. Coach, yep, I know you excited.
Let's get it. We're here. We're back. All of you wanted it. So now we're here. We're dropping episodes. Stay tuned. Again, before we even start, if you get upset with what our rankings, what our list is, don't cry about it. Go work for it.
Don't talk about it. Be about it.
Yep.
Okay, we're going to do a lot of posting. We're going to say a lot of things on these podcasts. Hey, we're all about the love, okay? We are also going to share our opinions. You may not agree with them, like Coach said, but it's all love. And prove us wrong. You don't like what we say, prove us wrong, man. Once again, don't talk about it, go be about it. And we do our best to show everybody love, as many people as we can. We do this for the kids in the community. So we're out here to have some fun with it. But first things first, Coach, we got to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, Shegon. We're going to talk a little bit about Shegon. Started posting a little bit about it recently. A couple of our buddies from BK, Jack Forney and Max Miller. This is their company that they started a while back with some help of actually some Hoopers, who I'm not going to mention, but some Boise Hoopers actually helped them put this together. Shout out to our guy, Mark Miller. But let's talk about what Shegon is. Shegon is a mindset. It's a mentality. Coach, you wanna explain a little bit?
Yep. So we've all been there where we've been wide open, going up for a layup, and we smoked it, and we had to keep playing. The time keeps ticking. We've all been there on the golf course. If you watch my Unk Activities videos, you've seen me miss from 2 steps away, and I got to keep playing the holes and trying to do the best that I can. So in life, we make mistakes. We fall short, and you can't think about it. She's gone. She's out of there. So there's no point of dwelling on the negativity that comes with certain things in life, and it's about moving forward. So that's what She Gone kind of means, and the mindset that goes behind it.
Yeah, so don't dwell on the past. Don't focus on your mistakes. Learn from your mistakes. Take the positive. Move on, because she gone. Okay, so shout out to our guys, Jack Forney, Max Miller, Mark Miller, all the guys. We appreciate the sponsorship, which has really allowed us to get back doing what we love, Hooper's Delight. And once again, a shout out to our guy, Strive 365 Clips. Check him out on Instagram. I'm going to have him put his tag here below on the screen. Give him a follow. He is the best of the best, and we are blessed enough to have him as part of the team, the Hooper's Delight team. So anyway, right into it, Coach. We're going to get into the 6A boys SIC. We're going to talk a little bit about the 5A boys SIC, and then we're going to talk about girls 6A just a little bit from around the state. First episode, we're going to try to be around 45 minutes to an hour. Stay with us as long as you can, because we're going to have a lot to say, and it's going to be a good time. So where should we start, Coach? We're going to start 6A boys SIC.
6A boys SIC. So we'll start with the 6A boys SIC. Currently, what the preseason was going on, and who was playing well, and what teams are going and have momentum, and then we'll go from the bottom to the top.
Okay. So like Coach said, half the season is over. League play has recently started. We're going to go off what has happened so far, what we know, what we foresee, have some predictions and whatnot. Let's start with the Bora Lions, a team that you're a little bit more familiar with than me. Yeah. They're kind of in a rebuild. What you got with Bora? Talk to me.
So right now, they got a new coach in with his first year. And then they got some of their players, some of the guys that I train. We got Augie Fuss and we got Drayson Lowe, Colton Sneeden. So we got a couple guys on there that they're figuring it out. And as the season continues to go on, they're going to continue to try to figure out different things and try to gel together. Right now, it's been a little bit of a rough patch, but I do see them potentially getting better as the course of the season goes on.
Yes. So the Bora Lions, obviously very prestigious program. Yep. You go back to the Austin Bolt days, Isaac Dewberry, even back to Isaiah Wright before that. Bora is one of the most well-known basketball programs in the state of Idaho. When it comes down to it, they are currently, like I said, rebuilding, but they got guys working with you, and they're dogs over there. Yep. They're just a different type of kid, so I think Bora, like you said, they'll continue to get better and build and continue to move forward and bring that program back to the glory days. So good luck to Bora this year. We're going to try to do our best to get out and catch everybody, get some highlights and show the love. So next, let's go with our guy, Coach Hoyt's new team, the Ridgeview Warhawks. Ridgeview is a team out in Nampa. Once again, Coach Hoyt is a guy that we've done some work with. We know well. Shout out to Coach Hoyt.
Yes.
I do want to give a quick shout out to their senior point guard, 3-year starter, Kaimon Nielsen, who was going to be on our players to watch list, right? He's kind of their heartbeat. He's been their guy for however many years. He recently at a practice had a season-ending injury, which is devastating. And we want to make sure we show those guys love as well. We recognize those guys. We've had injuries. We've missed seasons. We've had to, especially a senior year, man, that's heartbreaking. So just wanted to give him a quick shout out before we dive into the Warhawks. But hey, man, get healthy, keep hooping, and continue to be a good teammate, because you can impact behind the lines, right? Off the court, in the locker room, on the bench. Just continue to be a leader. So shout out to Keshawn Nielsen out there. That's unfortunate. They're big point guard. But a guy that they do have that I want to touch on right away is Brock Bastian, who set a school record with 34 points. 3-level scorer, sniper. What do you know about Brock? You know much about Brock?
I know a little bit. Some of the stuff that I've seen and what Coach Hoyt has talked about him is his work ethic and how much time that he puts in, and that he's a team first guy and somebody that comes in and brings that leadership mentality to Ridgeview. So, and that's something that if you go and you look at the stats, or you go and look at the games, and you go look at the people that are posting him, he does the 3-level scoring. He can shoot it, he can handle it, and he can get his teammates better. So shout out to him.
Yeah, and so they're gonna go as far as he's gonna take them, especially with their starting point guard out. Because listen, they do have a nice win. They have given an 11-2 CUNA team one of their only losses, and then they played them again recently and only lost by 4. They did have Mr. Nielsen there, who's now out. But it shows that they have it in them to play with some of these teams that have had a nice start to the season. So Coach Hoyt's going to have his guys ready to go. I believe they got Centennial today. Possibly that might be incorrect, but they're gonna bring it. They're gonna bring it. They got a good home court advantage, and so
well-coached team.
Well-coached team.
He's instilling his philosophies, and this is his first year at it, where he's at the helm. And as he continues to go on, the better Ridgeview as a program as a whole is going to become.
100%. So look out for Brock Bastian. He's a guy that's going to be an X factor player to watch. He can really fill it up. So Ridgeview, good luck to you guys this year. Shout out to Ridgeview and Coach Hoyt. Let's go to Coach Pickett and the Eagle Mustangs, who an interesting case actually. They've got athletes, they've got hoopers. They've got a senior point guard that kind of does the Draymond Green thing, kind of doesn't have to score a bunch, but leads in a lot of different ways, good floor general, runs Cody's system, which you hear a lot of talk about Eagle's system and what Cody does. Kind of like a Phil Jackson type. This is my system, this is what we're going to do, I believe in it, it's been successful, let's make it successful. And, the personnel, they've got shooters, they've got athletes, they've got the PG, they just haven't quite put it together yet. Had some good wins, had some bad losses. They were up on CUNA, at CUNA by 11, 2.5 to go, lost that game. Go to Columbia, get down almost 20. Columbia is one of the top 5A teams. On the road, they're down 10 with 2 minutes to go, win the game. So trying to figure out who the Mustangs are, but love Bryant Bigelow, love Lucas Coons, a couple guys you want to talk about as well, I know.
Yep, Aiden Kendrick, one of my guys. And then some of the other guys, we said Lucas Coons, we said Bryant Bigelow, we got Evan Vito.
The PG.
They have, if they can find the right balance of chemistry together, that's what'll change their momentum, because they've had games where they've showed up and they've played extremely well and they looked good, and then they've had games where they kind of fell apart, crumbled a little bit, and that's when it started going bad for them. So as long as they can keep their chemistry together, they can play together, they can believe in each other, support each other, and uplift each other as teammates, that's what'll take them to the next level.
I'm going to touch on Aiden Kendrick, the sophomore, real quick. You can see he has an exuberant amount of tools to be a very good hooper. I mean, he's had some big games. I think he had a 24-point game and a 17-point game. He's an X factor for them. He can really go. I've seen them play a few times. Haven't seen him pop off yet, but know he can. Bryant Bigelow can really go for me. I'm a big fan of the Bigelow family. Obviously, his dad, one of the all-time leading scorers at BYU and top 3-point shooters. But Bryant Bigelow has been impressive. Lucas Coons, absolute sniper. Can't leave him open. Watched him hit 7 threes at CUNA. And then Evan Vito, like I said, he's got Draymond Green vibes where he can rebound, he can facilitate, score if needed, is good going downhill, can do those things that they need. It's if they can dictate the tempo of the game and they can hit open shots and play off each other and make the extra pass, they can play with people.
Yep.
They could be a dark horse team to go make the state tournament. Cody Pickett seems to always find a way to be there.
Right.
This team may not, it seems to me that they may not believe that that's who they are, but that's who I think they are.
Right.
That's who I think Cody thinks they are.
Right.
I think they have I think they got enough guys. Logan Williams,
Right.
he can really rebound.
Right.
Big physical athlete. Like you got Aiden Kendrick, you got Coons, Vito, Bigelow. You got the guys.
Right.
You got the guys. So put it together. Let's see what the Mustangs can do. I'm excited to see how they put it together and if they come together, like you said, and have that toughness that I believe is there to make a run at the state tournament. So next team up, let's go with the Rocky Mountain Grizzlies.
Alrighty.
Go ahead.
Alrighty. So with Rocky so far, they've had a couple big games. They've had a lot of scoring outputs. They went up north and they upset Lake City, and they played extremely well. They got a couple good guards. They got Tanner Sweeney. They got our guy
Caden Swenson is a maniac.
And then we got more than that.
Brock
we got Brock
Stevens,
Stevens
the
who's
big.
been going crazy. So they have a bunch of players that can really help, and they got guys that when they play together, the ball's moving, they're playing scrappy. Caden Swenson's defense, I feel like, has been one of the biggest X factors on top of his point production that has really helped them go. And can they play together every game, play with the right IQ, make the right reads, and believe in each other enough that they can start winning these games? They had a couple close ones where they could have won, could have went their way the other night with Capital, should hit a shot as time expired, or they waved it off, but could have got Capital. So they have a couple players that could come in and impact and help. But my thing is, with those guys, can they defend? Can they defend for all 32 minutes?
Exactly. And Swenson has been out.
Right.
He got injured doing a little snowmobiling over the winter, got injured, and that was huge. And we've seen the impact that has had. And Caden Swenson is a guy that every year has just made the cut for the sophomore team, just made the cut for the JV team, kept working, and now he is part of their core and what they need to make a run to the state tournament. And Caden Swenson's defense, I think he's going to be in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation. He needs to get back. I believe he's going to be back tonight for the first time in 4 weeks. And they lost to Capital, like you said, by 2. They lost to Timberline by 3. They're right there. Those are the teams that they're going to need, that when it comes down to, they're going to need to beat in order to advance in the district tournament or punch your ticket to state. Those are the teams, I believe. And Caden Swenson defensively and offensively is going to need to get back in a groove. Tanner Sweeney is a guy who, if Rocky was a top 2 or 3 team in the league, would be in a Player of the Year conversation, because he's that type of bucket. And he can get going quick. He can catch fire. He got range. He's confident. Love his swag, bro. I love how confident he is. And then Brock Stevens has got to rebound. He can score. He's a double-double guy. Needs to be a double-double guy for them to be at their best. Then you got those other guards that play defense and need to hit open shots, and Spiker and Riker Hammond. And so Rocky has pieces. They've got to be healthy, and they've got to find a way to win these close games. And, they played in the championship of that Owyhee tournament, and they took Middleton to overtime, came back, found a way to push it to overtime, showed some toughness. But can they close? We're going to find out. And if they can, Coach Ivory and the boys have a chance to get to the state tournament. So, Eagle, Rocky, Mountain View. All right. Your boys. Start me off.
All right. So far, I got to actually watch one of the best basketball games that I've watched in a long time out here when they played Capital. Quincy Clay had 51 for Capital. And then my boy Cooper Patterson, Big Chevy, had a triple-double with 24, 10, and 10. But their team as a whole, they have a group of seniors that have been playing together for years. And so their chemistry when they moved that ball, I think in that game they had probably around 25, 30 team assists. And multiple guys had 20, multiple guys had 8 or 9 assists. And so to see how they played, and especially the pace that they play with, they're getting it, they're outletting it, they're going full court, and they're playing fast. And so those guys, I feel like if they can defend a little bit better, that'll put them in position to where they can really make a run in the district tournament and potentially make it to the state tournament. If there's a year for them to be great, this is the year.
Yeah, no, they have the athletes. I went and watched them play Meridian early on in the year, and I thought Meridian was pretty dominant for 3 quarters. They were up double digits. I think got up about 16, and then Mountain View flipped the switch and came back, and they were a layup away from tying the game with a minute to go. Missed the layup. Meridian hits the free throws. But so I wasn't sure who Mountain View was at that point. And then they go and they beat Capital. They withstand a 51 ball by sophomore Quincy Clay from Capital, who we're going to touch on. They withstand that. Cooper Patterson has a triple-double. Tyler Harris goes for 20 and 8. Brody Tolman has 8 assists. Corbin Hedgecoth has been great this year.
Came alive.
Yeah, came alive. He's been impressive. He was very good against Meridian. And so then they go, so they withstand that. They win that game against Capital. I'm like, okay, maybe Mountain View's got more than I thought. And then they go and they lose to CUNA by 10. A game that I thought, that's a good matchup for Mountain View. They should win that game. But CUNA also, shout out to CUNA, has been 11. They're 11-2, been more impressive than we thought they were going to be.
Right.
And so I'm still trying to figure out Mountain View. The Sneaky Sneaker is next Tuesday. That's, a little rematch there. That's going to be interesting because Meridian has shown to be one of the top teams in the state at this point.
Right.
So who is Mountain View going to be? They've got guys, that group, when they play together.
Yeah.
If they play together more often, but if that senior group plays together, they are difficult to guard.
Yep.
Like you said, Big Chevy with the school's first ever triple double. You got to. That's different.
Yeah.
And so Cooper,
they have scrappy guards too. And the thing about them, like they have Bowman Bills that can guard. And he's scrappy and he can take a big role. Kean Foy was out. He was hurt. When they played CUNA, Tyler Harris had hurt his hip in that Capital
Didn't
game.
know that.
So a couple guys have been out. But they have it all there, and they have 1 through 9 guys that they play that can really go out there and can make some noise. And so when they're all on the floor, when they're healthy, and when they're playing together and they're playing fast, that's when they're at their best. My only question mark for them is how good are they defensively? Yeah,
we're gonna find out because that's a team that has pieces, but can they do what they need to do, in your opinion, to move on? So I say we transition to Capital because we just mentioned what Quincy Clay did, the sophomore point guard. Dropped 51 down in Vegas. I believe it was Vegas.
Had a 42 ball.
Had a 42 ball, averaged 28 a game in 4 games down in Vegas. That's different.
Right.
And then he comes back home where he's game planned for and shows off for you.
Yeah.
The boys dropping 51. 51. And our boy Strive got all the highlights too. So shout out Q for all the highlights.
Right.
But Quincy Clay is missing. They're missing Simba Mornock, who legit 7-footer.
Is a problem.
Big problem.
Dunks everything, got good length, can handle it, can shoot it.
Shot blocker.
So, yeah.
He's been injured. He's been out almost a month, and I'm hearing different reports. I talked to him a little bit. He said, hey, we're trying to get back. He's going to need to get back for them to be a state title contender potentially.
Yeah.
And maybe even a team that, I'm going to watch them tonight against Meridian. By the time this drops, it will be after the game. But I'm going to watch Quincy Clay for the first time this year against Meridian. Going to go watch him tomorrow at the Real CHS against Centennial. So I'm excited to catch Q. But can he carry them to a state tournament? They've got Dakin Lowe. They got some other pieces as well. But without Simba, what are your thoughts? You know more about Simba and these guys without me.
Well, they have, Silas Crane is one of those guys that can do it all, even though he's undersized. Rebounds, steals, he's everywhere. They have a freshman, I can't remember his name exactly, but he's a shooter. And then they have Carter Komoda, who, if they need three-point shooting, he's there, he's available, he's tall, he's got some size. So if they put it together where they can get some stops, because that was kind of the thing at that Mountain View game when they played, there wasn't too much defense being played. There was a lot of offensive output, there was an offensive show, but defensively, guys are getting beat. There's not help over where Simba would be there to block some of those shots and kind of stir up the paint. They need everybody to be healthy for them to be successful, I feel like, because they're limited now without having that rim protector. And so, when you have a 7-footer that has that ability to block shots, covering your back, it's a lot easier for Quincy Clay to get out in the lanes and Silas Crane to get out there and gamble on certain plays to get some steals, create some more transition flow. But overall, when they're healthy, they're one of the hardest teams to beat. And even now, without Simba, they will outscore you. And they will outrun you. They don't get tired. They don't need breaks. Those guys are in good shape. They play basketball year-round. And to me, Quincy Clay is, in my opinion, the best overall athlete in the state of Idaho. And I don't give praise very easily, but to me, what I've seen from what he did in football to what he's doing right now on the court, the kid is amazing to watch. He's unstoppable.
You got me even more excited for the game tonight. Because he going up against a Meridian team that puts the clamps on. And if you don't believe me, ask our boys at Hawaii. They D up. And Jeff's going to have a plan for Quincy. So I'm excited for that. Quincy Clay, 51 ball early on in the league season. He's part of the Player of the Year conversation.
Yes,
has to be
for sure.
Has to be
for sure.
Yeah, he's definitely on our Player of the Year watch and
as a sophomore.
As a sophomore, And for me, that carries weight. But when it comes down to who's player of the year, I'm not, hey, I'm going to give it to the senior because he's a senior. If the sophomore's better, he's better.
Right.
And Quincy Clay right now is must-see TV, worth the price of admission, pay for you and the whole family, worth it. Right. So I'm excited to see what Capital can do. Love Blaz, love what he does over there. He lets them go and play basketball. It's got like a club feel. Let's get up and down. Like we got more athletes, we got more hoopers, beat us. But you're right. They're going to have to defend at some point because you know the old saying, defense wins championships. If they're gonna go where they want to go, they're going to have to find a way to play some team defense. So we'll see what the Eagles got for us this year as well. So let's jump over to Timberline, Coach Noble and the boys who always find a way to be relevant. And before I got back this year, I moved back from overseas, I was hearing Timberline's a rebuilding year. They're not going to be very good. I'm just thinking to myself, man, how many times have we heard that? Right. How many times have we heard? And then sure enough, Colin Morris is now from 6'4" as a freshman to 6'7", maybe the best shooter in the league.
Beautiful jump shot.
Just a strap. Probably the best pure shooter in the league. And then his boy playing PG, who's been there when they played for the state championship 2 years ago, his sophomore year, Cole Hudson, can fill it up. Started the game against Rocky the other day with 3 threes. Blah, blah, blah. Got them going on the road. They ended up beating Rocky by 3 on the road, which I thought was a huge game for both teams to see who they were. Swenson wasn't playing for Rocky, but still Cole Hudson showed up and showed out. I like the duo. From a shooting perspective, one's not going, the other probably will. If they're both going, they can play with anybody. They got a Waihe tonight. We're going to see really kind of where they're at. I believe it's at a Waihe. When it's at Timberline, it's always different. They have the number 1 home court advantage in the state of Idaho any level, my opinion. Same. This is at a Waihe. Right. Curious to see what that scoreline looks like. Really interested to see how that goes because a Waihe, guys like Kanan Magnus, Logan Hosfite, they're not going to let Morris and Hudson get open looks, right? Like Noble does a great job coaching. He'll find ways to get guys looks, but how far can that duo carry them? They've got some other guys that play hard, play defense, and we'll touch more on them down the road. But Colin Morris and Cole Hudson could both be first-team All-SIC guys, depending on where the Timberwolves end up. But I think those are going to end up being 2 all-league guys, whether it's first-team, second-team, honorable mention, whatever. Those guys can hoop. Morris, a junior, Hudson, a senior. What do you think about Coach Noble?
Well, for me, he's turned me into a believer. So I wasn't a very big believer in Timberline before in the past, but now seeing how he coaches his teams defensively, these guys are always prepared. He's one of the most, I feel like his preparation is one of the best in the state, how he prepares for teams. You can tell that his teams are zoned in on the game plan, how they're going to guard, what type of pace they want to play with. And a lot of times they dictate the tempo of the game. So you'll see them win a game scoring 30 points, or you could see them win a game scoring 70 points. And so I feel like he's one of those coaches that really prepares his teams to compete against whoever. He knows what plays other teams run. He knows what personnel is doing. He knows what tendencies certain players have, and he knows how to cut that off. So he's, to me, one of the best coaches that we have in SIC, and he's earned my respect.
Yeah, I mean, there's been years where we haven't been believers, and then all of a sudden they're playing in the state championship game. Yep. I mean, like it, and that's gone back since I moved out here, 10 years ago. So shout out to Coach Noble and the boys out there at T-Line. Good luck tonight against Waihe. We'll be catching you guys soon. So let's jump over to their rivals. A lot of guys that you know as well, the Boise Brave, who have 1 loss, only to a Waihe at Boise. Last year, that Boise team, I think at one point was like, 8-11 or 8-10, and then they turned it on late and showed who they were. They came into this season being like, we don't need to lose games we aren't supposed to lose anymore. Right. And they've showed maturity and growth from a team that has almost everybody back. Harrison Bell, massive problem. To end up being potentially a player of the year in the next 3 years. He has the ability and skill set to do it even this year, depending on how much he can carry. He had 21 and 10 last week. I've watched him have multiple giant double-double games. They're led by Luke Soltow, the point guard, who I think is one of the best all-around players and leaders. His confidence is unmatched. He can really facilitate, and he makes everybody around him better, but he's also shown that he can score the ball. He leads them in scoring. Isaac Thacker, what a trio that is. Thacker, Soltow, Bell. What do you think about Boise?
So for me, looking at Boise, and guys we haven't mentioned, who's one of my favorite players is Will Gabbert. And I haven't trained him. I
Sniper.
wish I could, but his toughness, like this dude is a dog. Watching him play against Hawaii, he was jumping in, getting rebounds, bumping guys over, finishing through contact. And then he started hitting threes, step back threes. And like this dude's coming off injury and had no fear. Didn't look like he was rusty at all.
One of his first games, right?
Yeah, one of his first games.
Yeah, he just got back.
And his toughness, to me, it was like it stands out. That's the thing that I watched. Like who can get knocked down and keep getting back up? Him, not only him, but then Eli Rich. And seeing him entertain the crowd, listening to the crowd, talking back to people, and like just has that swagger about him and that dog in him. So I feel like
is he the best on-ball defender in the league?
one of them for sure.
Yeah, Eli Rich is a lockdown defender. So you got that trio we talking about offensively.
All
then
the
you
guards.
got Gebert who can fill it up and his toughness. Then you got Eli Rich who's going to lock up your best player. And then you got Hudson Dunn, the sophomore, who's been impressive this year.
Yeah.
He had 13 against Meridian in the comeback, and they were down to Meridian at home 11 in the fourth. Hudson Dunn turns it on. Soltau has 7 points in the fourth. Harrison Bell had some huge rebound putbacks, and they came back and they beat Meridian. Isaac Thacker, cold-blooded pull-up jumper in Meridian's face to win the game after being down 11 in the fourth. So they've shown the toughness, like you're saying. Those guys got the toughness. Is there anybody else? This team always finds a way to make a run. They always get to the state tournament. They always find a way.
And they're going to continue to get better too. And I think Big Harry, just how he plays the game, like he can go right shoulder, he can go left shoulder, he blocks shots. We went to the Hawaii game, and there was one shot he got double block, both hands. And it's like he's that rim protection. He has that defensive mind on top of being able to score. And I feel like this is just the start of what we're going to see from him.
Yeah, I think Boise is a team that could win the state championship. I know they just lost by 14 at home to Hawaii, but that's a game. I think that will benefit them. They will get better from that. And they're not afraid of Hawaii at all. And so really like Boise as a potential state champ this year. But we'll talk a little bit more about that later. So let's jump over to CUNA, one of the most surprising teams. They got the transfer guard from Bora, Hendricks Castro. They've got Manny Chabuka, Manny Chubbs, who's 17-8 right now. Jackson Edwards has been one of the biggest surprises. I mean, he's always been a hooper, but he's coming up next to Manny, and they got two guys who are double every night, around 15 points. 17 points a game. Like you got that duo right there athletically. There's not a better duo athletically than those two from a rebounding, shot blocking, getting to the rim, scoring around the rim. Like I said, you got Castro leading the way. You got the Barris boys, and then a guy that I think is the next factor for them is I believe it's Coulter Hoffler, big shooter on the wing, can rebound, and if they defend, which they held a Mountain View team to 50 after they scored 84 against Capital. They've surprised me, bro. Like CUNA surprised me, and they've got a big game tonight against Rocky Mountain. A big game for both those teams. CUNA, I checked the standings. They're first. They're 3-0. I think everyone else is either 2-0 or 1-1. CUNA is first place in the SIC right now after 3 games. And how do you feel about them?
Well, in 11-2, and I think that Manny Chubb, what he's been doing, blocking shots, dunking on people, dunked on one of my guys. I got to give him this credit. This dude is out here working. I've seen him work in the morning, working at 5:30 in the morning. They're all well coached. They've had good coaching previously. They have good coaching now. I think those guys, when they play together and when they believe in each other, that's what really pushes them forward. And so we've seen a lapse, but also now how they've overcame certain games, how they've come back and win. So they've had tough games that they've won. Right, they've dug themselves out of holes. They've been in clutch moments, so they already are building the experience that they need, so that will propel them in the district tournament that potentially could get them to the state tournament.
I think if they get to the state tournament, I think that's a huge accomplishment. And once you get there, anything can happen. But yes, CUNA has been a surprise. They do have a gauntlet from here on. Their schedule is a gauntlet. Not that they haven't beat good teams yet. They came back beating, an Eagle team we talked about. They were down 11 with 2.5 at home. Came back, won that game. And they weren't playing well, turned it on. That was impressive. They have a loss to Ridgeview before their point guard went down, a loss that they weren't real excited about. Came back, right the ship. They beat Ridgeview when it mattered in league play. So I'm excited to see what CUNA does. Manny is kind of a dark horse player of the year watch. How far can CUNA go? What seed can they get? Can they get a first round bye into the district tournament, right? And so he's a guy to look out for. Jackson Edwards, big-time baseball recruit also. I want to give him a shout-out. He has been balling.
He is a monster.
And the game against Eagle, he came off the bench, and he had 25.
Yeah.
And just carried them back. So shout out to Cuna. Good luck this year, fellas. Can't wait to watch you guys play again. Let's jump over to Centen. Centennial is a team to talk about.
Yeah.
Every year. This team, I've said it once, I'm going to say it again. This team, for me, needs to get to a state tournament. I say that, and in the last 2 years, they haven't been to the district tournament. With the talent, with the reigning player of the year, with Henry Johnson, who's Mr. Do-It-All, is Swiss Army knife.
Yep.
And you got Tobin Knutson, must-see TV, Mr. Viral, like Mr. Walking Highlight Reel. And then, once again, Gabe Edens, 21 a game last year. You've got a trio there who absolutely can carry, who needs to carry. You've got some pieces around you. You got Dylan Bolin, you got Griffin, you got Kirk. Kirk needs to rebound and play defense. Yeah. Bolin and Griffin need to hit the threes, and these three guys need to, Gabe, I think Tobin's their leading scorer right now, potentially. I'm not sure. They're right there, which shows a lot about Gabe's growth. We went and watched Gabe. Gabe is finding Tobin. He's finding guys. He's waiting for the double and getting guys look. And that's why I think they only have one loss right now. They have one loss to a very good Post Falls team from up north who we'll talk about down the road, and they lost by 6. That's the only loss they have. And so they look like they're on their way, but you haven't been to a district tournament in 2 years, and we're talking about you need to get to the state tournament with this group, or else Gabe Edens needs to get to a state tournament, bro.
Right. And I think with him and with how he's playing right now, he understands what these teams are trying to game plan against him. They're double teaming him quick. They're guarding him with the best defender. They're guarding him with length. They're getting into the lanes. And where his game has grown the most is his ability to facilitate. And he's not trying to force shots. Even last year, he didn't force shots. The dude was one of the most efficient, if not the most efficient player in the state last year. And he's continuing to do that as his game develops. He's making plays. He already has a poster dunk that, for me, is probably the best dunk I've seen outside of what his teammate has been doing. But he's making the right reads. He's making the right plays, and defensively, he's getting blocks, blocking guys off the backboard. So he's leading that ship. And I think that makes the game easier for guys like Tobin, guys like Henry Johnson. Henry Johnson's one of those guys that he really does do it all. He does everything. I've called him the Swiss Army knife since I met him. He'll have a game where he'll have 14 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 9 points.
Yeah.
And he doesn't really have to score to impact the game. He's one of those guys. And then Tobin, who has just jumped, literally jumped, and that's what he loves to do, onto the scene. This dude is dunking on people. I tell everybody that I train, if he is coming down the lane, there's just no point.
Get out the way.
Get out the way. This
Unless you want to go viral.
At the rim. and the thing is, with him, we're amazed by his dunks and all the things that he's done. The dude can shoot it. From anywhere. And the thing is, he has no conscience. Strap. He doesn't care about where it's from. He doesn't care who's guarding him. And the thing is, he can go 0 for 5 and then hit 7 straight.
Yeah.
So you never really know what you're going to get. And then if he gets to the paint, you already know it is. One step inside the free throw line, you got to move. So, these guys, I feel like, and they're a great coach.
Yeah.
All their
Love
sets
Josh.
Offensively, Josh, one of the best offensive coaches we've seen.
Yeah.
From every year, they're getting easy open looks out of sideline, out of bounds, out of baseline, out of bounds, on top of their offensive sets that they run in the half court. Like, these guys are for real.
Yeah, and Josh always overachieves.
Yes.
We've seen it. He will outcoach you, and he's a player's coach. He gives his guys freedom. He instills confidence.
Yeah.
And I'm going to touch on a point you made, how Tobin Knutson can go 0 for 5 and then hit 7 straight. I've seen it happen. When he's going, they are very, very good. When he's not, and Gabe's getting doubled and shots aren't falling, they're shaky. I saw them against Skyview. Tobin didn't hit a shot in the first quarter. It was 9-9 at the end of the first quarter. Tobin comes out in the second quarter, runs off like 6 straight. All of a sudden, they're up 20. And then I saw it again at Middleton. Middleton did a great job locking these guys up. Third quarter, I don't think Centennial scored until about 30 seconds left in the quarter. Tobin couldn't hit a shot. He taking good shots, high percentage shots, wouldn't go in. Fourth quarter rolls around, he has 10 in the fourth, they win the game.
Right. And
they were down 7. So Tobin Knutson, Gabe is simplifying the game for Tobin and Henry. Henry's simplifying the game for Tobin and Gabe, and they're all kind of doing it for each other. And when they do, they're extremely difficult. They're going to start playing some teams that are really going to show who they are. Right. And Centennial is a team that I'm going to pick right now to get to the state tournament, because I desperately want those guys to get to the state tournament and show out for everybody, because we all deserve it. They deserve it, but they're going to have to do it. They're going to have to do it through team defense and continue to play with each other like they have, and has led them to a 10-1 record. So we'll see what Centennial does. Good luck, fellas. Shout out Coach Josh. You do a phenomenal job out there. Love watching those guys play every year. Let's jump over to Meridian. The Warriors, who became the first team in the state's history to beat Owyhee at Owyhee. The first Idaho team to beat Owyhee at Owyhee, which is Owyehee's second loss at Owyhee this year. They lost to a Layton Christian team who's nationally ranked and has multiple big-time D1 hoopers. A game that Owyhee should have won, but didn't. And then Meridian comes in. I think they were 6-6 or 5-7 or something like that, but played out of state, played some big-time teams. And Meridian showed that they're going to defend. And they just keep coming at you just nonstop with Keanu, with Marcus Murray, the transfer from Arizona, Cam Fisher, extremely underrated, one of their X factors. Then you got Baron Ryden, who's a double-double machine. I don't know if there's a better pure rebounder in the league than Baron Ryden.
He slept on, too.
Yeah. He's a college player.
Yeah, for sure.
I heard he has an offer.
No, he does.
Oh, he has an offer.
He does.
Baron Ryden is a problem.
Yeah.
I didn't know about it until I saw him play against Owyhee, and I was like, oh, this dude, he changed the entire game.
Yeah.
He could have been player of the game in that game.
Right.
Baron Ryden. And then of course Drake Hope, who's one of the best players in the state, had 37 and 11 the other day. Against Owyhee, had 9, 12, and 7 assists, I believe. Played a great all-around game. Can score at all three levels. 6'7" guard, junior. And then you got Sammy Khan, one of the purest snipers in the state. Can fill it up, can go for 30 in a night if you leave him open.
Right.
I mean, they've got, and then our boy, the masked man, come on, boy, it's a movement. He has, and that's a day one for me. He has blown my mind this year with his confidence, his toughness. He had 4 steals against Owyhee in the first quarter. Defensively has been a menace. All the guards they bring at you defensively, he's been filling it up. He's averaging double figures. Sammy is 2, Drake is 2. I think Bear's right there. Bro, Jeff has a team that is young and hungry and wants to shut everybody up. And they just beat Owyhee the other day, and they showed us all. They're here. Coach DM is picked to win the state championship. He is so high on them. He a big Jeff Sainer fan, but he loves what he sees defensively, and the depth is there.
Yeah, it's there. It's there for sure. And I think a lot of guys are getting the opportunity that they wanted in years previous, that now they're getting to show exactly what they want. They're getting what they want. And I feel like with what Coach Jeff has done, he's really broken these guys down from the simplest form. Basic fundamentals. He's continued to coach these guys up, teach them how to read defenses, teach them how to game plan, teach them how to play in the gaps. And as always, they're one of the best coached teams by one of the best coaches that we've seen. And every year he continues to get these guys to play together, continues to make noise. And they've been one of the hardest teams for Owyhee to play against. Every year they're a challenge. So
why?
And because
all those reasons?
Because of all those reasons, but how they compete. And it's like we've seen them defensively, when they're engaged together, they're communicating, they're flying around, they're clamping people. And if they can clamp a high-powered offense that Owyhee has, everybody else in the state got to look out.
Dude, I mean, their toughness is, I mean, they talk, they back it up, they back each other up, and they just get in you. And then play as hard as you can for 4 minutes. Then he'll come in, and then he comes in, and then he comes in, and then he comes in. I mean, watching what they did and pestering those Owyhee guards. Owyhee guards missed some open shots, some shots that those guys can hit. They know that, but they made it difficult. They dictated the tempo of the game, and Owyhee came back, took the lead, and Meridian I had called out previously, not we, because everything we post is not Key. It's me. I'm posting on the page. Yeah. Me and Key do have conversations and whatnot, but I called them out. Can they close? Can they finish? They almost blew the game against Mountain View. We saw them blow the game they should have won at Boise. Yep. So we called them out for that, and then they went to Owyhee and said, watch me do my thing. And they did. So they got it. Right. If they can stay healthy and continue to play together and play for the guy next to them, they're going to be tough. And with that guy at the helm, they scary, bro. Yeah. Always. So shout out Coach Jeff and the boys. I want to give J-Rod, who can come in on off the bench, a sophomore. J-Rod can fill it up. Riker can fill it up. They got so many guys that come in and can make an impact, and they want to defend, and it's contagious. It's beautiful to see. So let's jump over to who my state champion favorite is going to be this year, the team that's won it 3 of the last 4 years, and is the Owyhee Storm. I think Owyehee's still the team to beat. I think that's going to make them better. I think it's going to bring them together, and if it doesn't, then they're going to continue to show that they're beatable. But with Logan Hosfite at the helm, Kanan Meg, you got a Division I point guard, you got a Division II, high-level athlete, Hooper over here, and Kanan Magnus, the transfer from Montana. Then you got Jordan Allen, who is going to be in the conversation, probably with with Logan and these other guys for defensive player of the year. Right. Like he's that guy. You got Jamerson, you got Parker Leaf, you got Ty Reed at 6'8", you got Braylon Larson who's 6'8",
and continuing to grow too.
Yeah, and I'm gonna name a couple more guys here who I'm really high on. Owen Brown is a problem, and one of the best shooters in the state as a sophomore. He's going to continue to get more minutes as we're starting to see. And they brought up your boy, Jacoby Judd, who I watched in the Hawaii tournament, the silver bracket. I watched the Hawaii JV team play a bunch of these varsity smaller town teams, and I was like, this Jacoby Judd kid could start on maybe all these teams in the league at point guard. He's different. Yeah. He is a dog. He gets after it, and he belongs with all the rest of them. Harrington saw the same thing, pulls him up. He's getting minutes. And after that Meridian game, Andy threw a wrench in it, and he's calling guys out, seeing how they respond, who's going to work, who's going to be there. Right. But the Storm, for me, is still the team to beat, and the loss is going to do nothing but benefit them. Yeah,
I mean, I agree. And just looking at how these guys play and how they defend and looking at their schedule, what people don't realize, too, with them, and this is not to try to seem biased towards them, is that they played in their holiday tournament. They went from there, they played in Hawaii, and then they came back and played in California, and then they came back and had district games back to back to back with no break. These guys, they had guys with the flu, they had guys that were sick. And so with how their travel schedule was, as much as it was cool for them to go experience all of this, was it beneficial for what came with the district play? And so now that they're here, now that they've had some rest, they've had a break, now we're going to kind of see to get them. And that Meridian loss, I feel like woke them up. They go out, they beat Boise and give Boise their first loss. They bring up Jacoby, and just the way that he plays and the presence that he brings when he gets into the game is that now you can't sit there and just stand in the gaps with Logan anymore. You have to guard people. When Owen Brown plays, you have to guard. With Kanan on the side, you have to guard. These guys can shoot it, they can fill it up. And as they play, when Logan is out there whipping the ball to these guys, it opens up more for him. And so once he gets these guys going, Kobe helps with that, helps with the playmaking. Definitely. Now it creates opportunities for all these other guys, and it frees up Logan to now do what he does, which we've seen him terrorize the state for the last 4 years.
What he did against Layton Christian, just my eyes are still just 21-8, and led them to, just on the brink of winning that tournament and winning that game, which would have been massive. But still, they showed who they are. Right. When Logan's going, when he's going, it's look out, because then everyone's going. But when Logan's efficient, and when he's playing with another guard like Jordan Allen, like a Jacoby Judd, where Logan can get off the ball and come and catch and go, like Andy's seeing, like we can see what Andy's doing, where you put an Owen Brown out there, where you don't guard Owen Brown, he's going to hit 10 on you. Right. Like Coach DM, shout out again, is a huge Owen Brown fan. He thinks he is the sniper of all snipers. He likes the lefty strap. Once again, you got guys also like Jamerson and Allen and Judd, who all these guys can pop, bro. Right. They can pop like that, and
it's opportunity.
It's opportunity, and so with their star power, with their size, with Ty Reed and Parker Leaf.
When they got Caden Rogers, who's been huge for them.
Let's talk about the X factor. Let's talk about Caden Rogers, who definitely needs to be talked about. Caden Rogers, what he did to one of the top players in the country out in Hawaii. When they made a run to the championship game against some of the best teams in the country, Caden Rogers is a lockdown defender. Caden Rogers is a guy that can hit an open shot. He'll clean up the glass, and he's a great teammate. And he's going to be a college player, just like the rest of the fam. Shout out J. Raj and Strat, and the national champion. And Caden Rogers has got it too, and he's massive for them. And I think he's going to be more and more massive defensively and on the glass as they move forward. But there's only so many minutes. Who's going to elevate their game and continue to improve? And it's going to be interesting to watch, because that can be a difficulty at Hawaii as well, with all these hoopers and like, hey, I need minutes, I need minutes. Yeah. It comes into play with the chemistry. What's the parent scene like? What's going on behind the scenes? That's at every school, but especially when you're top tier and things start to shake a little bit, it's like, whoa, is it going to crumble, or are we gonna pick up the pieces and she gone? Right. She gone. She gone. We put it in the past. We forget about it. We move forward. Now we better. Right. Or are you going to dwell on it? So it's going to be interesting to see what this team does. Every team is different every year. This team is different. A lot of guys left. A lot of transfers. A lot of new pieces. A lot of young guys getting pulled up from JV. Owen Brown. All these guys. But I think they're, of course, the team to beat, even with the loss to Meridian. The Meridian guys may not like that, but hey, This team has won 3 out of 4 state championships. They're back-to-back defending state champions. They got the guys we just mentioned, and you're going to have to show up and show out to beat them, especially after beating them once. Now you got them all pissed off.
Yep.
We're going to see what happens. Shout out to Hawaii. Keep working. For me, the team to beat. Let's dabble real quick. Jump over to the 6A SIC girls. Talk to them for a few minutes. We got about 10 minutes left here. Talk about the 6A SIC girls, who we'll touch more on them as state tournament is beforehand. They're almost done with league. We're going to touch on their district tournament and their state tournament and stuff as we get closer, and then we'll touch on the 5A boys slightly because we've watched them a little bit recently. So team to beat for you, Eagle. For me, it's Eagle. I know Middleton beat them. No. I'll let you touch on Middleton a little bit and Eagle as well. I want to talk about these teams. Berkeley Jones is getting offer after offer. University of Pennsylvania just offered her. She went down to that tournament. She was MVP, Nike Tournament of Champions down in Arizona. MVP. Shout out to Taya Nelson, her teammate, who was all tournament, the grand champion youth rancher, the cowgirl, and then of course Trinity Holsinger. That trio, there's not a better trio in the state for me, not even close. Trinity Holsinger signed with Liberty University, where Steph Curry's little brother Seth Curry went. Right. It's a legitimate Division I school. Right. She going there, and she's still trying to find her footing with Eagle. She didn't play last year. Year before, she carried for Cole Valley as a sophomore. Right. But she's trying to find her footing as she had 13-7, I believe, against Capital. So that's a nice game for the PG. Taya Nelson had 18. But Berkeley Jones, for me, Player of the Year watch. Look out. Yeah. She's a big problem as a junior. Yeah. Tell me a little bit about Berkeley, who you know well.
She's a workhorse. She's one of those people that she puts in all the extra time, will come work out, goes full speed, wants to get in the gym, wants to get in the weight room consistently, wants to get better. And it doesn't matter where it's at, whether I'm in Napa, whether I'm in Meridian, whether I'm in Boise, whether I'm at Eagle, she shows up. She's somebody that continues to show up, and she brings her teammates with her. So she's one of the players.
Shout out Brielle Lake, who I see always working. Little Lake, coach. I coach her brother Gardner. Shout out to the Lake family. Brielle Lake is a workhorse and a dog that makes a difference. And of course, our girl Bella Thompson with that strap. She's one of the best shooters in the state, also.
Yeah, and they have pieces, and they got players that to me deserve even more recognition. They have Izzy Elitharp, who also was an all-tournament at the Tournament of Champions as a defender and as a rebounder, and somebody that does all the dirty work. And a lot of times we talk about these players that are scoring the most points, but there's people that have to do the work that Izzy does and the work that Ryan Ellsworth does, that picks up people full court, gets steals, 5-6 steals, hits timely shots. And so a lot of those girls in that Eagle team, their roles are a little different. We have, the stars. We have Berkeley that scores the points. We have Trin and Taya that score the points. But there's other girls, Ryan Ellsworth, Brielle Lake, Izzy Elitharp, those girls that can fill it up and if they get the opportunity to score, they do. But defensively, those girls are who, to me, what I see when I watch them play. I watched them play Capital the other night. They were getting steal after steal, talking, communicating, playing physical. And to me, where the reffing was kind of holding them back, not allowing these girls to play and compete at a high level because we're calling tic-tac fouls when it's like, let these girls play. Yeah. These girls aren't soft. They're flying to Arizona to play. Middleton's going where they're going to play, and those girls play hard. Let these girls play. We want to watch these girls compete. We don't want to see the tic-tac fouls and watch the star players get fouled out of the games.
And no disrespect to Coach Blackwell, who is the best dressed coach in the state. Shout out.
Staff is the best dressed. Staff, the whole staff.
The whole staff is just dripped out. Row to all of them. So shout out to Coach Blackwell, and they beat Eagle. Yep. And that's because they got a nice little trio. They got the Blackwell sisters. They got Dawn Holman, sophomore sniper, who can rebound, defend. She gave Berkeley, she slowed her down enough to give them the opportunity because of her physicality. I think Berkeley will answer that. We will see. Can't wait for that game. But Dawn Holman can shoot it. Zoe Blackwell is the prototype PG, what you want. She had 11 points and 7 steals yesterday, and they beat a good Timberline team with a high-level Emmy Swilly by almost 40. 7 steals, 11 points. Couldn't get shots to fall. But it's tough to shoot Timberline. But she's been having 20 ball, and 7 steals last night. She's a leader. She's one of the front runners for, the Player of the Year, SIC Player of the Year, State Player of the Year, along with Berkeley Jones. And, Sister Olivia can hoop. She can do it. Once again, her, Dawn, Olivia, Middleton's so tough. They when they dictate tempo, which it looks like what they did against Eagle, they're going to beat you.
Yeah.
But you said that. But Eagle for me is the favorite in the SIC, even with the loss. The favorite for me to win the state championship, even if they lose to Middleton again or don't win the SIC championship. When they get to the tournament, I like the depth. I like the trio. I like Trent at the point. I like Taya's toughness, and of course Berkeley. I like them at the state tournament. Middleton right now is in pole position to win the league outright. We don't know what's going to happen at the district tournament, but to me, what's more impressive is who can win the league, the outright, like your body of work, not like a 3-game tournament, which is impressive as well. But I'm excited about them. Bora, I think, is a dark horse. I think Kaya Davis is a monster.
Yeah.
They played Middleton decently tough. They were there. Kaya Davis is going to have to carry. They've got some talent. They're well coached. They're a little bit younger team. But Kaya Davis is another girl who we're talking about for Player of the Year who can carry, and she can kind of do it all. She had a behind-the-back pass, which was, she got some flavor. Flavor to the game, which I'm all about that.
Right.
Who else we got? Boise's a team.
Yeah.
Also.
Younger, but well coached.
Coached. New coach. They got some girls coming in next year.
Yeah.
The future looks bright for Boise.
Yeah.
Would love to see them get to the state tournament this year and get some experience, because I think that matters. I'm a big believer that getting there the year before matters. That's why we talked about with Centennial Boys. I wish they would have even been to the district tournament, had some feel. But I think that matters. I would like to see Boise get there. It looks like they're going to have a shot. Capital. Shout out to Coach Creech, man.
Yeah.
He is turning that program around.
Right.
You got Miriam Stafford. They got some girls over there that are hooping. I'm trying to keep all the names up. But shout out to the Capital girls, Miriam Stafford and Coach Creech. They got beat the other day by Eagle in the game. They were 6-1. Eagle was 6-1 in league. They got thumped a little bit, but that's going to make them better. And I know Coach Creech, he's going to make them better and continue to grow. I would love to see them make a run to the state tournament as well. He's building that program up, and they deserve a shout out as well. Anybody else on the girls' side that we should give a quick shout out to? Because we're going to get more into the girls' side.
Rocky Mountain and Timberline.
T-Line and Mountain View, I think, are three teams you should talk about.
They all had great preseasons, and they're just still, a lot of those teams, like Rocky, they have, shooters in Brooklyn Anderson that can fill it up. Mercy, that's been killing on the boards and getting everybody involved. They got freshmen on their team. Gemma, who's been actually controlling and dictating the tempo and leading those girls. I feel like Rocky can make some noise. They just had a good win against Mountain View. And Mountain View was making noise at the very beginning of the year as well. So just seeing some of the teams that we've been able to watch over the course of the preseason, when it gets to the SIC play, that's where it kind of gets tight, where all of a sudden those preseason games where teams are 8-4 or whatever, they have more wins from the preseason, they get into the district and get into our conference, and then all of a sudden they start evening out, getting to 500 or getting below 500.
Well, because they get game plan for, and it's not just show up and play. It's hey, we're getting game plan for. They're going to force you to do what you don't like to do. How much you've been working with Coach Key on what you don't like to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So anyway. Addie Lee and Quincy Keller, a nice duo.
Ballers,
nice duo at Mountain View. Gonna need to carry. Okay, Mountain View had a great start, slowed down a little bit, but they got the girls. They got some pieces. Those two are hoopers.
They got youth. They got Dylan, who's a sophomore, who comes in there, rebounds, defends. It's one of those players that does all the right things, does all the dirty work, and so they have talent. It's there.
Yeah. And then let's talk about Emmy Swilly and the girls over at Timberline. Emmy Swilly, she's committed to University of California, San Marcos. She's a hooper. She's a problem, 6'1", got the fade game, can shoot it, can get to the basket. Once again, gonna need to carry, but has a little help. Your girl over there helping her out. Lexi Moore hooping.
Yep, who's been one of her teammates and been on varsity for the last 3 years and has really been able to contribute and help. And right now, I'm pretty sure is one of their leading scorers or in their top. And she's one of those players that she's a good slasher, can shoot it when she's open, and then she defends and she leads. And so, they have what it takes and what they need to make a run into the district tournament and into the state tournament. I think they could be a state title contender.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, you got a girl like Emmy Swilly on the team, and she got some help. With a player like that, anything is possible. It's like Q over at Capital. Quincy Clay's the same way. So shout out to the girls. We're going to touch on the girls more and more as we go through our 10 episodes of season 2. And so shout out to the ladies. And let's touch a little bit on 5A boys real quick. Want to give a shout out to our boy Wade Bailey, who is over at Preston. Preston looks like they could be the front runner to win the state championship. Last night, Wade Bailey had 23 in the first 3 quarters against a good Century team. Justice Magnum is there, who's an athlete, a baller. and he got cheap shotted in the fourth quarter. Saw the video, absolutely cheap shotted. Boys were mad that they were getting cooked. He got clubbed across the head, and I hope Coach Frost handles that. And I'm just going to keep that where it is. I'm not going to say any names from a player's perspective, but Wade Bailey had to end up going to the hospital and getting an MRI for a brain bleed, and ended up with a severe concussion. Thought he had a broken jaw, had a severe concussion, didn't even remember playing in the game. And so shout out to Wade. Get healthy, Wade. We see what you're doing out there. You and Case and Bryce.
Yeah.
Case and Bryce might be the best athlete in the state.
Right.
I know you say Quincy, but Case and Bryce needs a shout.
Right.
Case and Bryce is putting on a show out there. He put on a show for our boy Strive when they played Timberline, went viral for us. Shout out Case and Bryce, man. He's a monster, man. And they're gonna need Wade. Right. To be who we think they are, which is and they're so well coached. Preston, one of the best programs in the state of Idaho, have been. So shout out, is Coach Jones still out there? Is that Coach Jones out there still?
I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure Coach Jones still doing his thing, man. Shout out Coach Jones. If it's not Coach Jones, and I need to get updated. I've been out the country for a minute. But I know Wade Bailey, Case and Bryce, and the boys, the Preston Indians, doing their thing. Twin Falls had a nice win at Columbia, so they need to be in a conversation. Twin Falls got a good big out there, college player. I got to get more familiar with him. And then up north, Sam Point has been showing some signs of life. That program's coming back around. And, of course, Lewiston is 5A now. And they got Royce Fisher, who committed to Lewis Clark State, which means he can ball.
Right.
So Lewiston from up north, and they've been playing with Lake City Post Fall CDA the last couple of years. Right. So they're going to have the athletes. So Lewiston from up north for me, it could be a problem and kind of a dark horse coming down here for state if they can make it and get past Lakeland and Sandpoint and all them. But the 5A SIC real quick is 5 teams and 2 spots. Potentially, I think maybe 2.5 spots, which means potentially 3 spots. We got Middleton with the reigning player of the year, Ty Cornwall, and we saw them beat Rocky. They won the championship of the gold bracket at the Hawaii tournament, and they're well coached. They got the new coach out there. You got Columbia, who I just watched the other day, beat Valley View, who's well coached. Columbia, Coach Blaine, well coached. Valley View, Coach Mario, they got guys. Skyview, who
making noise.
They just beat Middleton.
Right.
And I saw them play with Centennial for a while. They got the big boy Merrill over there, who they got pieces. And then of course BK. Right. With some of your boys over there.
Yep.
Owen Graves
and Connor Goss, those guys are super athletic, and they can play together and they can get it going at any time. Cash Davis is over there.
Cash Davis can shoot it. It's like his brother.
Yep.
So they can shoot it. BK has, for me, one of the best home court advantages as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Shout out BK, the crowd they get out there. Shout out to our guys again at Shigon, our sponsor, Jack Forney, Max Miller, Mark Miller. Those guys are BK guys. BK is always there.
Yep.
All since the Tommy Hunter day all the way back, they always been a problem, man. And
they were a problem for me.
Yeah, for sure. A problem for you when you were at Middleton. So BK is always there. I like Columbia. They were there last year with a bunch of sophomores and some freshmen. They start 4 juniors and a sophomore. First guy off the bench is a sophomore. Then they got a couple more guards who came off the bench and both had career highs the other day in Lincoln Erickson and Parks Johnston. And those guys both came off the bench. One had 20, one had 14. And you got Tavin Jones, the point guard, the lefty PG, who got feel, who makes everybody better, and who's an underrated shooter, and I think needs to shoot the ball more. He was in foul trouble the other day, but Max Keller, who I think is their best all-around player, lefty.
Yeah, he's a problem.
What I saw him do the other day from a facilitating standpoint, he had 7 assists. They were trying to take him away, and he was facilitating and getting guys open looks, and that's why 2 guys had career highs, because Max Keller was dropping dimes. They got Easton Lott, who's one of the best athletes I've seen, one of the toughest, hard-nosed kids I've seen. Bouncy. He had 16. He gets to the rim when he wants, defends, dives on the floor. Valley View, man, they got Xander Wilson, the big boy. Noah Mitchell, the big boy. Xander Wilson and Noah Mitchell are a big problem. Victor Gutierrez and at the guard position, Benton Court, Coach Mario's boy. The lefty, and then they got the freshman, Andre Rodriguez. They got pieces. The snatch, step back 3. Shout out Andre Rodriguez, man. That was nasty. But they were down 20+. Columbia hit 10 threes in the first half, and they cut it to 4 with 2.5 minutes to go. Valley View shows the toughness, and it starts at the top. That's who Coach Mario is. That's that culture he's built. Never out of it, never giving up. They had a chance to win that game. That's a team that can make the state tournament. And so we got BK, we got Skyview, we got Columbia, we got Valley View, and then we got Middleton. And Middleton, you got to think Middleton's a favorite with Ty Cornwall. They went and smacked Columbia at Columbia, then they lost to Skyview.
Yeah.
So the
Skyview's
league is
number 1 right now.
Yeah, Skyview's number 1 right now. They play Columbia tonight.
Right.
That rivalry is full
real.
force, and we're
real.
gonna see. So that 5A SIC is something to keep an eye on. 5A just all around. We got Lewiston up north. We got Preston. We got Blackfoot, who got a couple guys. They got Aronson and Arave, 2 guys out there who have been hooping. Look out for Blackfoot as a dark horse. Right. So shout out to 5A. We'll touch more on 5A as well as we move forward. We don't have enough time. We wanted to really dive into the 6A SIC. That's kind of what we specialize in. Right. 5A SIC as well. And then, of course, the girls game, the girls 6A. Do need to give a shout out to Coeur d'Alene girls up north, Brooksley Colvin. Going crazy, averaging 30 a game. And she took her girls down to the Nike Tournament of Champions when they, not the same bracket as Eagle, because Eagle did beat Coeur d'Alene earlier this year by 18 at Coeur d'Alene. So that's a conversation for later. But Brooksley Colvin went down. She had a 41-point game. It set a school record 41. She hit the 1,000-point mark halfway through her junior year. I think she could get to 2,000 points if she keeps going. But I said it before. I think state runs through her. If you run into her at the state tournament, when the lights get bright, she could be the best overall hooper from any level, boys to girls. Brooksley Colvin, she's the highest recruited player in the state. Right. UCLA, Mississippi State, Iowa, where Caitlin Clark went to school. She could be the best overall hooper. If you see her at the state tournament, because they're going to get to the state tournament, she won it as a freshman. Last year, she carried her team that was shorthanded to a semifinal overtime loss to the team that won at Hawaii. We have to shout out Brooksley. Yeah, hey, shout out
Josie Davis, man. Shout out Josie Davis.
Josie Davis, the state tournament MVP. Yeah. Right? Show them the back. We got to see the back to Josie. Josie Davis at Fort Lewis doing her thing right now, getting minutes, making a difference out there at Fort Lewis out there in Colorado.
Durango,
Colorado, man. Durango, nice too. You'll catch a game, you won't regret it. But shout out to Josie Davis. But Brooksley Colvin for me is the best basketball player in the state right now overall. And I think if you run into her at the state tournament, I don't care if you beat her by 20 during the year. Lights get bright, she gets different. Right. She's different, and 30 a game is different. If she can get some help around her, which I think she has, they're going to be tough to beat. But I got Eagle for the girls. But I did want to give Brooksley Colvin a shout out because she's must see TV. She's fun to watch. So anyway, we want to give another shout out to She Gone, our sponsor.
She Gone.
We want to shout out Eagle Ridge Apparel. Yeah. Our guy Josh Swenson. Amber Swenson, who are going to be getting us fitted with our gear. Our order just arrived today. We're going to go get things printed, and we're going to be looking dripped out just like the Middleton coaching staff over there on the girls' side. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Coach Blackwell again. But shout out to She Gone. Remember, it's a mindset, something we're about. It's about don't live in the past. Take the positives from the mistakes you make, learn from them, and be better. It's a mindset. So you see us. Give our guys She Gone a shout out. Go check them out on Instagram. They got a website. They're selling the hats. They got the college hats
all
too.
Different types of flavors, man.
Look at that. They got the Oregon Duck with the Oregon Duck colors. Coach DM has an Idaho Vandal one. They got Georgia, Boise State, and they got more and more coming. So check out She Gone Official on Instagram. We'll drop the link below. But episode 1, season 2 complete. It's good to be back.
Yes, sir.
Good to be back. Strive 365 Clips. Give him a follow. Coach Keshawn Liggins at Adversity Athletes, founder, president, and then Coach AJ. I do my thing at EBC Ministry. And we love y'all. Thanks for the follow. Tune in next week.
Woo.
Yes, sir.